Hi, everybody. This is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. So the markets grinded higher today, and it was you could see. Actually, let me go to a 5 minute chart because this will show. So with like the first bid that we had on this, I'm going to take this stuff off here. Hang on one second. So sorry. So basically, what happened was we got some. A little bit of early weakness right here. And from there, what happened was that we just really it got bid back up right away. So here you can see we got this little drop right here, and then from there the bulls just took over, came right back up to the previous highs, and that's where we stopped. Nvidia's their earnings they're not as good as I think the street was expecting, but it's down about 2.5-3% right now. And basically it's all going to depend on what he says in the call. If he says something that the street doesn't like, then I'm anticipating that well, the next move would bring us down somewhere into the 64.73 level. But my take is that it would actually be coming down. I'll show you some of the targets on it, somewhere down closer to these levels, and I'll show you why. But if it's going to be just an ABC move up, which again I'll show you, then it has a price target someplace up into the 65.25 level. And if that's the case, then what most likely they're going to gap it up or they're going to gap it down. So if he says something on the call that the street likes, then we're going to gap it up. What that's going to give us is a gap to new all-time high fade trade. Now, if it comes down, I believe that we'll find some buyers at some point, but it all depends on again what happens from now until after the call that Nvidia does. So now let's take a look at the 15-minute chart, and these are going to be some of our targets. So let's just say this is the top right here. We made a kind of a double top. We it could be because if we take a look at things and really just see what it is. So this move here, let me move this up a little bit here. Okay, so you can see right here that from this move, we were just looking for a move higher than this to give us the bearish divergences. Not only did we get that, we also got this move right here that gave us sell signals. So it's one of the things that if it comes down, these are going to be the first target. So the first target is going to be the 23% retracement. That's going to be 64.53. I think it goes really the more important one, which you can see I have each one a little bit thicker on that, is going to be at the 64.32 level. Because if they lose that, then we're coming down to the 64.15, and then the next support, which is actually price support, is down at the 63.98. So these are really the levels. Below that, then we're going to come down and we're going to close this gap, and that's going to be at the 63.72. And that's really kind of the trade that we were in right now, where I mean, it really made no difference what Nvidia was going to do. We just needed to move the markets big, and I think there's a lot, like I said, banking on the earnings call that's going to be coming on in a little while. And right now it's down 6 points. So we're getting into 3 or 4%, and if that's the case, I mean Nvidia is 7% of the S&P and the Qs. So if it's 7% of it, the mathematics is, hang on one second. Okay, so this is just on a S&P. I'm at the Nvidia dropping 3%, which right now it's down more than that. So this is what the levels are calling for. And what I wanted to do is run scenarios on where the S&P will be if Nvidia moves 3%. So upside, it's going to bring the S&P up to 6,600. And on it's going to be the SPY level is going to be 66, and then we have the SPXL. And what we did is we took the puts and the calls. So that's why I wanted to know what it was going to do on either side. So if they miss and it goes down 3%, and the S&P goes down, that's going to be down to 6,300. This is 630, and the SPXL is 181. So this is really the move. To me, I would have rather had the upside because we took the 200 calls and the 185 puts. So no matter what, it was a really inexpensive trade too. That's why I took them out that much on it, because if it was gonna, I didn't really want to pay a whole bunch of premium. This was kind of a home run trade where if I lose $500. If it wins, we could win, five, six, 7,000. So that's really the scenario that why I took that trade. And you can see again, it's this is, but if it stays down to let's say if 3 or 4%, then we're looking at the S&P opening all the way down below these levels here. And if we zoom out a little bit, what we'd be looking at, the 6,300 right here, that's the 6,250. 6,300 is going to be right here, right in this area right here. So this would be the support line if it drops 3%, just based on mathematical numbers. I'm not, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out on that because it's just off of the weighted average for the for really the S&P and P and what Nvidia is. So let's say that they like everything and it moves up. This ABC move takes the S&P up to the 6560. And again, if they like to call on Nvidia and it moves up 3%, then we're looking at a move coming up here. So I think that there's going to be a decent sized move. That's why I took the positions that I did. I also have the same thing with IWM. I have the puts and the calls, and we also have TNA on the short side. So to me, it makes no difference. I just want the market to open up really very high or very low with a big gap up or gap down. And that's really the position that that I'm waiting on. And you can see this right here, what we have. I have the TNA puts. We have SPXL 85, 200, the puts and the calls. Our RXX, that's going to really, this depends on what what NVIDIA is going to do. If it moves up, then this will move up with it. And then the last thing we have the IWM calls. So we finished today 520, but like I said, it really depends on what's going to happen tomorrow with it. So let's get back to this. So downside, if they really don't like what Nvidia has to says, and it goes down, don't be surprised to see the S&P trading, some close to 80 points to the downside, which would be perfect for the positions that we have. On the upside, I'd be looking if it can get above the 6520. I'm looking at a move at the 6566 and then up to the 6600. So maybe that doesn't happen tomorrow. Maybe it takes into Friday to get down to these levels, but the SPXL is a 2-day expiration, so I really didn't have too much worry on that end of it. So overbought, we have bearish divergences. That's on the hourly chart. If we look at the daily chart, again, this is what makes me very nervous right now. Even if we pop up here, is the wave structure as well as the bearish divergences. And at some point, I really do believe that we're going to see the S&P trading somewhere in this area right here, the 5,600 level. And that's probably going to be between September and October. So things are going to get very, very volatile. But right now, let's just concentrate on what's going to happen tomorrow. And really, it means nothing until after the earnings call. And we're going to see if they like it and they shoot it up, or they don't like it and they shoot it down. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Have a fantastic night, and I'll talk to you guys.